On this week's show, powered by Thrifty Traveler, Richard is just back from Dublin, and we're recapping what his thoughts were on his first trip to the Emerald Isle. I just got back from Vegas, and I'll talk a little bit about what it was like to be there for F1. We answer a listener question about whether you should be taking advantage of a Delta gift card deal for Black Friday. And we're wrapping up with some thoughts on the best way to book airline tickets right now, as the rest of the Miles and Points world seems to have caught up with what I've been saying for a number of months now. All that on this week's show. Hey guys, welcome back to the Miles to Go podcast. Mr. Kerr and I are in our respective hometowns, kind of, sort of. Mr. Kerr is in New York, back in the scheme of things after having hit Dublin, which leads us to one very critical question, Mr. Kerr. What did you bring me back from Dublin?
An Irish schlante. Cheers. Cheers to you, friend.
Cheers.
As well. I brought Thomas and Mary back Irish rugby jerseys because I went to the big Ireland versus South Africa rugby match Saturday night, and neither of them were thrilled about that present. And I was like, okay. Should have just gotten you a bag of Haribo, and you guys would have been more excited than that, and that would have cost 100%. Me $50 less. But here we are. Good job, Dad.
I only laugh because I tried that with my kids at one point. I think it was Barcelona jerseys, and they're like, sure, yeah, whatever, Dad. I'm like, damn it.
Did you get any candy? Oh, come on.
Right, pretty much, yeah. Now I know. Just bring back the specialty candy bars from any country, and you'll be a hit with the kids, and you'll be vilified by your wife.
Nah, it should be okay. I think they still got like another mountain of Halloween candy they're working off here in the end of November.
Well, you brought up rugby, and I will not even attempt to say his name because I'm sure I won't say it correctly. But EK on Instagram noted that you were in his hometown watching his favorite sport while he was in North Carolina. So need a quick recap of the match for him.
That was really fun. I played rugby when I went to high school in England, so I've always loved the sport. Yeah, if you're not familiar with it, like just check it out. It's like American football, but it doesn't stop every 10 seconds. It just keeps going. So this was Aviva Stadium, which is the main stadium in Dublin for a lot of different sporting events, although they have, I learned, another bigger stadium that's just for hurling and Gaelic football. So that would be cool to go watch next time. But the college games that have been played over there have been played in this stadium, and it's the home of Irish soccer and Irish rugby. This is called the Quilter Cup that they do, or the Quilter. Yeah, I think it's called the Quilter Series. Sorry, it's not a cup or a competition, but all the Southern Hemisphere teams come up to the north, and they play. South Africa is one of the last two World Cups. So this was South Africa, number one in the world, versus Ireland, which has had a good run of things in rugby lately. Especially, man, I forget, like the country there's like only like 4 million plus people in the whole country of Ireland, which is wild to think about, but it was a great time. Our partners over at British Airways and IAG Loyalty hosted us, and we got to do all kinds of cool stuff before, and got to do a Q&A with a couple of Irish players after the game, the guys who had just gone down there. A very stop-and-go match. The referee apparently wanted his name all over this one because he gave out tons of yellow cards and a red card. Ireland was down to 12 players from 15 at one point, which everybody was like, this has never happened before. But, seeing some of those monster guys, we had some pretty cool seats down low. You just forget how much of a monster. I mean, it's like offensive linemen in football, but they can run for an entire 80 minutes, which is just like next level stamina and strength.
Yes.
And these guys absolutely clobber each other when they're going full speed down the pitch and make a tackle. And it's just an awesome sport to watch, and had a whole bunch of fun doing that. And I had some other meetings in Dublin. I've never been there before, which I just don't know how I've never been to Dublin. That's how everybody else was like, you've never been here before? I was like, no, sorry. Spent the first day after I landed. Which, man, that flight is so short. Oh, it's such a short flight. And landed and walked out of the Dublin airport. Still dark when you land at 7 a.m. in Dublin in the winter. It was like 25 degrees, a sleeting mist, and the wind is like 20 miles an hour. And I was waiting at the bus stop for the Dublin Express to get into the city. And boy, I was hating life, man. But it was freaking cold.
I never did find out. Did you sleep on the flight?
I did. I slept about 3 hours on the flight, which is more.
Wow.
It was 5 hours and 20-minute flying time from New York to Dublin.
That's a lot for you on a 7 p.m. flight.
It was. But I took some melatonin and some magnesium and didn't drink anything besides water the whole. I tried to get it. So I felt good about 3 hours, man. But it was, this 5 hours and 20 minutes, and that's it. You're in Europe. That was a very super short flight. Stayed at the Hyatt Century Liberties. Perfectly great. Huge room for Europe. Not the best location for Dublin. Don't think I would recommend that location. Again, Dublin just not very big. I just didn't have any scope of it. Like I walked the whole city twice because you landed at 7, you got to stay up all day. Went and saw Trinity College and the library, went and saw the Dublin Castle, did the Guinness Storehouse thing, walked along the river, ate at some pubs. I really enjoyed my day before meetings in Dublin, exploring the city. Wonderful place to go. I was dying to rent a car and get outside the city and see some of the countryside, which I think I would do again. But Hyatt Century Liberties, they got me in a room super early, gave me breakfast, on that first time you check in, even though you didn't pay the night before. Very friendly staff. Again, huge room for Europe, but that location just not the best. I think I'd try some of the other places that are closer to the river in Dublin next time. But walked the city, man. Really, really enjoyed my time there. It was great. And then a very quick 6-hour and 45-minute flying time back on United yesterday from Dublin to Newark, and 25 minutes in the lift in the city, and just like that, man, you're back. You land at noon, and then the pre-clearance in Dublin, 30 seconds, if that. My feet never stop moving. The only thing is right now is the one lounge for business class after pre-clearance in Dublin is closed until the spring of 26, so even for business class, no lounge access. I did poke my head into the Priority Pass lounge, but that's before the pre-clearance, and that's just you might as well not even go in there. It was just a tiny little room with a little weird buffet with some prepackaged stuff, and not worth checking out because that's also where all the Aer Lingus business class goes. And There was just barely any seats in there, so don't count on a great lounge experience at the Dublin airport. But pre-clearance was great, man. And then again, from the time you land in Newark until I got into I was curious about this. Landed, touchdown at exactly noon in Dublin. I walked into my apartment at 12:45, which was spectacular. So that was nice, man. But overall, wonderful city. The Irish people were great. All of our business contacts there hosted us, so I got the full Irish pub experience until very early in the morning on Friday morning after touring many pubs, and had a great time. Really, really enjoyed it, and the rugby match was just the highlight.
Very thankful for your hydration leading into that, I'm sure.
Oh, man, I don't know how, the Irish lived up to their reputation. I just don't know how they do it, dude. It's just different level there.
It is a different level. And I agree with you on getting out of Dublin and renting a car. But quite frankly, if you've never been there before, as you noted, super easy to do a day downtown and see plenty of sights. I think you did it. The only thing I remember, I'm trying to remember the name of it, but there's a historical jail that's just on the outskirts of town that you can get to that I did as well on my first trip there. But other than that, you checked off all the same things that I checked. And I mean, for folks who don't know this, you're not flying out of Dublin for the luxury. You're flying out of there because it's convenient and because it's got pre-clearance, and you check the box. It's, there are the lounge situation, all that stuff. And most of the carriers that fly out of there are not your, premium of premiums. So United Polaris, as I know, is one of your faves across the pond, and, no lounge after pre-clearance, I'm sure was perfectly fine for you to be able to have dinner with the family when you got home.
Yeah. None of that matters. I think the days of getting to an airport early for a lounge are far, far beyond me now, unless it's going to be like the Qatar first class lounge or something, something wild like that. I'm certainly not getting to the airport early. Although we are, at time of recording, we are flying out of JFK domestic tomorrow, and I'm a bit concerned about the holiday travel. So I think I will be getting to the airport early tomorrow, but just to make sure that we don't hit any hiccups as the Thanksgiving holiday is off to a boom.
Yeah, I do get to the airport early because I'm just always, a little bit worried about, all of those things. I find myself in lounges less and less only because if I do need to have a phone call, most of the lounges I can go into don't even have phone rooms. The Cap One lounge has 2 in Las Vegas. The Amex lounge has 2, and at Dulles, they're effectively non-existent in the lounge options if I want a private room. So I find myself finding a quiet spot in the terminal or just walking. So.
Yeah, I wish everybody else in the lounge would do that, man, because people were just railing on those business calls, and I'm
God.
I get it, man.
I can't. Yeah, there's too many people in too close proximity for me to do business calls in a lounge. It's just not a thing unless there's a piece of glass between me and everyone else. Anyway, a little bit of housekeeping. You can text us 571-293-6659. He is at Kerpoints on all those social media channels. I am at Pizza in Motion. Quick little thank you to our newest member of the Slack community, Elena. If you want to join us on a monthly basis, help support the show with a few bucks a month. We've got mostly weekly happy hours, got some meetups coming up. There's a bunch of channels there where travel experts like Mr. Kerr and I can answer your questions. And we actually have a deal out there that I'm not sure what Mr. Kerr's feelings are that came from Slack. This was around last year as well, and maybe even earlier than that, because I know I've taken advantage of it at one point with my Delta Amex card, and I think it was probably during COVID. But NY Cubs, a returning member, Says he sees there is a 3 to 4x bonus mileage deal on buying Delta gift cards. And then you've also got the bonuses that Delta credit cards pay out because Delta sells their own gift cards. It's not through a third party, so they code as Delta travel purchases. Right now, this promo is 3 miles per dollar for if you're not an elite member, 4 miles per dollar if you are an elite member, and then anywhere from 3 to 5x for the credit card bonus. So I guess my question for you, Mr. Kerr, is somebody who is something of a free agent when it comes to airline status right now, living in New York. You got lots of options. Are you pre-buying some Delta gift cards on a Delta credit card if you knew you could get, call it, 6 or 7 miles per dollar for pre-buying those Delta gift cards?
No, I'm not. Delta Sky Miles are just not worth enough for me to give interest-free loans to airlines. So it would have to be like 20x or something like that for me to do that and hold on to some Delta gift cards. Definitely will be flying Delta more. I wrapped up, Platinum Medallion for 2026. And you actually got shots of upgrades on Delta here out of New York City.
Yeah.
And they service all 3 airports. So we'll definitely be flying Delta next year. But again, just not a strong enough value prop for me to go park some cash over there right now.
Yeah, I mean, I actually think I probably will take advantage of this. I did a few years ago. I don't think I'm going to, do a ton because, I have to look back. I probably only have 5 or 6 flights on Delta this year. And if I'm going to travel with the family, it'll almost certainly be on miles because I still have a stash of Delta Sky Miles. But I probably will buy a little bit of gift cards just because it's some extra Sky Miles, and I know I'll use them within the next 12 months, and so I'll take the opportunity to give as you so eloquently put it, give the airline a little bit of an interest-free loan in exchange for a little bit of Sky Miles.
That's what it is. It's the interest-free loan. Oh, that reminds me, an interesting Delta gift card story for me this week. Forgot to bring this out. I got a notification from Georgia, the state of Georgia, unclaimed property.
Oh.
And I was like, what is this? Apparently, back in 2018-19, I bought some Delta gift cards that never went to use, which I have an idea of why I would have done that without giving any more specifics. There was a time in my life where I was making a lot of miles, buying a lot of gift cards. And apparently the good old folks at Delta Airlines saw that I'd never used these gift cards for a period of 5 years and filed it with unclaimed property with the state of Georgia, who reached out to my email address and said, "Hey, is this you?" And I was like, "It is." And they're like, "Well, great, claim it, prove that you're you, and then we're going to send you a check for $100 of unclaimed Delta gift cards." And there you go. Well done, state of Georgia. Maybe the most seamless government experience of my entire life, but I can't believe Delta filed that versus just letting them go unused. And then I can't believe the state of Georgia had my email address, maybe tax returns or something. And then they found me, man. So a little $100 coming my way from the state of Georgia and the folks at Delta Airlines. So thank you, everybody involved in that wonderful process.
All right, then. So you got another 1,000,000 Sky Miles there that you can play around with that $100. I'm very, very excited for you.
Don't think that's the ratio, but sure.
All right, well, I want to talk a little bit about a couple articles that have come out about the Bilt this week, and then I also wanted to share a little bit on my F1 experience this week, or my F1 non-experience, as it were. But a quick word about our sponsor. We had Kyle Potter on last week talking about the state of the industry and what we think is going to happen in 2026. And while that's all meaningful, I got to be honest, the big meaningful thing is the alert that they sent out. This would be just today at time of recording, and color me shocked, but I don't know if you've seen this yet. Japan Airlines, 70,000 miles each way, and I'm talking Dallas, LA, New York, Boston, Chicago, LA, San Diego, San Francisco. I mean, dates from now through May, including cherry blossoms. 70,000 miles one way in business class to Japan. This is, for where we sit in the world right now, this is this is the brass ring that nobody ever finds.
That's 70,000 American miles or JAL miles? Again, I got to up my airports cover in my Thrifty Traveler subscription.
Price in Japan miles, 70 to 75K, yeah.
Yeah, what's taxes and fees on that for Japan Airlines these days? What are they doing? Probably a couple $100 if I had
That's
to guess.
my guess. I ticketed them on the way back from our trip in March, and I don't remember what they were. I'm generally pretty allergic to those taxes and fees, so if they were higher than a couple $100, I probably wouldn't have booked it. I probably would have kept my Delta flights through Taipei. So I'm guessing you're probably right in that couple $100 range.
Huh. Well, yeah, good thing you can transfer those Bilt points over to JAL miles and book that up. That's a screaming deal on one of the best products in the sky.
Amen. It's a great product, and nonstop to Japan from all those gateway cities. has a Bilt transfer partner and also sort of the shortcut if you don't have JAL status yet. Bilt gets you started on your JAL status more quickly because that JAL used to have a pretty painful startup process where you had to wait, 30 days?
Oh man, what's the rule that we got around? It might be more than 30.
Yeah, it could be. It was a lot.
Yeah.
And so,
yeah, wait a lot of days. But no, if you transfer your Bilt points over, we send out a list every night manually still that says, please unlock these JAL accounts for immediate redemption. And we've had 0 bugs with that so far, which is great.
nice. So while you were in Dublin, I was in Vegas, not attending the F1 race, but I really got a sense of how popular an event this is from an international standpoint. And to be honest, I might actually go next year, but I still struggle a little bit spending over $1,000 for the race ticket when that doesn't include anything else. I keep trying to find a way around that.
See anything at an F1 race in person? Like, isn't it way better to watch on TV the entire track and coverage rather than? If you're watching on YouTube, like this has been my impression of being at an F1 race.
Yeah,
like that's it. Like you're just flashing your head left to right real quick, and like, okay, can't even see what 90% of the track, and everybody that loves F1 is going to just ream me out for this, but I don't care. It doesn't seem very interesting, especially for $1,000. Yeah,
so not this year, but last year we were invited by a contact that I have at the landlord for the property that we have on the Strip, and they actually had a hospitality tent set up on one of the sharp turns coming to the straightaway, which was more interesting. Cars were not going 200 miles an hour since they were taking the turn. There were a couple of cars that missed the turn and went into the overrun space. A lot of sparks as they came like inches from the wall. So that was interesting to watch. But that was also, like I said, hospitality tent, courtesy of those folks. Thanks, Chris, if you're listening. I didn't have to pay for that. So to your point, I'm not sure I would take a grandstand seat on the straightaway because you're right, you wouldn't see anything. We were able to, from where the restaurant was, they black out the track with like this black mesh, so you can kind of sort of see the cars come by if you stand up close, but they're going so fast, there really isn't much to actually see. But what I really got a sense of was, and I knew it was going to be popular from an international standpoint, but the rabid fans. I mean, when was the last time you were in Venetian Palazzo?
2 Vegas trips ago, so summer of 24.
Okay, so I'll try and best to describe this to you and to the listeners. So somebody estimated this online in terms of timing, but right where the Venetian, the Palazzo sort of meet up at the Grand Canal shops, for folks that can visualize this, upstairs is where they built this pop-up store for stuff that comes to the Sphere. Backstreet Boys, all those guys, had sales there. And so that was where F1 set up their pop-up store for all their merchandise. They also had a separate one, the Paddock, which is a lot harder to get to. It's off the Strip. So this is where everybody went. The line from the store stretched out from there down a long hallway out to the Strip where the pedestrian bridge across the Treasure Island is. And on the day of the race, it hooked a left towards the Tau Beach Club entrance, across the front of Venetian, over the Bridge of Sighs, down to pretty much where our restaurant was. And it was estimated by some folks that stood in line that it was a 4-hour wait to get in line for merchandise.
I sure hope they had a lot of burgers and fries while they were waiting in line with that nice new convenient location of Five Guys right there. That would be. I
wish they did. We did do it. We did have a pretty incredible weekend. I'll say that. We almost set the national daily sales record for North America. Missed it by about $1,000, but we did on Saturday what a typical restaurant does for a full week. And we did make a contact inside F1, and we fed the team on Friday, the employees in the F1 store. And my employees who helped deliver the food were all very thankful because they were delivering food. They got to cut the 4-hour line and do their F1 shopping, including some very nice F1 Disney merch that I took home with me, Mr. Kerr.
Huh. F1 Disney mashup. Of course that exists.
Of course.
Yeah, one of my favorite podcasts to listen to besides the Miles to Go podcast is the Joe Pomp Show. And he's a business sports guy that does very short 10, 15-minute snippet episodes where he just deep dives into one sports business aspect. And he did the Vegas F1 race, I think, last year. And you saying the part about them blacking out, like if the business on the racetrack does not buy the licensing for the view, they cover it so that you 100%. Cannot see the racetrack unless you pay the egregious prices that they're asking in order to have a trackside view. And I just find that kind of stuff absolutely fascinating.
I do too. I don't know why they don't work something out where like you can have a pass to walk the Strip and the casino sells it to you and kicks back to F1 and you charge whatever, $50 at race time to be able to walk the exterior of the track or something. But yeah, even at the Denny's next to us, which has a balcony, it was $2,000 if you wanted to watch it from Denny's. So
Talk about national sales record. Good job, Denny's. Way to go. way to break.
Yeah, and I did not
That's
get
a lot of
clarification.
pancakes.
I did not get clarification whether that includes a French slam or not. As I sip on my Topo Chico here, last topic of the day, Mr. Kerr, you actually sent me one of these articles. I know Gary wrote about this week, but it seems like the rest of the world has figured out that it's actually a really good deal if you book your airline tickets through Bilt. And I know we've talked about this on the show a number of times because I keep bringing it up, but I guess I just don't understand why this hasn't gotten more coverage yet. And I'm kind of putting you on the spot here, but I mean, who wouldn't, like in this world of points and miles, who wouldn't want the double dip of earning miles and points on your credit card, buying a ticket direct with your airline through NDC, and earning Bilt points? I don't know. It seems like the smart people are finally coming around on this one.
Yeah, I think it's just a massive mental barrier to get people over because of all the previous portal experiences that they've had, booking through all the other folks. But yeah, I've said it for many months now since we launched earlier this year that we're building this portal to be different, to be advantageous to our members, and to hopefully be the easiest, most rewarding place that there is to book travel. And I appreciate everybody reaching out over the last week or so, asking like, hey, is this true? And like, yeah, it is. So just go over the basics real quick. If you are not using any Bilt points at a, market best now 1.25 cents each on every single flight, I am just passing your credit card to the airline the vast majority of the time. If you book a EasyJet or a Volaris or some obscure Southeastern carrier, that may not be the case, but the vast majority of the time, I am just passing your credit card directly to the airline. So if you have an Amex Platinum, yes, you're going to get 5x points. If you have any other card, yes, you're going to get your airline multiplier plus whatever travel protections you have. And that's the way we want it. And that's the same if you have the Bilt card. If you use any Bilt points, then it just gets like it's a different transaction where I become the merchant of record because I have to charge you the cash balance for anything that you didn't use to cover points. And then I send a Bilt corporate card over to the airline to pay them the full airfare because they're certainly not discounting the airfare because you redeem Bilt points. They don't care less. They just want their full airfare. So then I'm the merchant of record and you're not going to get, those direct airline benefits. Now, my Bilt MCC still codes as generic travel, and that just goes down to whatever your specific card does. But that's how you can save a whole bunch of money, 1.25 cents per point. So yeah, would love people to come on and figure out the good life over here. And again, working towards that, going from what is about 90% NDC connection to 100% NDC connection. It's the wild, wild west of NDC out there, new distribution capability. Not everybody treats it the same. Some, it's really awesome. Like I think you figured out on United, it's like you booked on United.com. You can make all the changes on United. You get serviced by United. It's United NDC. Not the case for American Airlines. Even though it's a quote-unquote direct booking from American, they still won't service an NDC booking. So they just do it a little bit different. And it's just weird, man. And I don't pretend to understand, why and all the nuances of it, but we're going to continue to make it better. So, yeah, we'd love for everybody to come and book your airfare, double dip. Like we openly encourage everybody to double dip every purchase in our Bilt Neighborhood program and now in our Bilt Travel Portal, working our way towards direct hotel bookings on every single booking. It's just, again, the nuances and the complexities of this travel world, as I've learned over the last couple of years building this business, it's a lot. So I'm looking forward to the day where every single hotel booking is a direct booking. If we're home away from home, that is the case today. If you book a Hyatt, Hilton, Accor, IHG, Marriott, you're going to get those points, those elite qualifying nights, and those elite benefits on top of your home away from home benefits. Not the case for everybody else today, but we're working our way there, man. So I think maybe everybody should have started listening to you a few months ago. But again, I understand that it's a huge mental barrier to wrap your head around that. Something is different. Like I read it all the time where they're like, never book through a third-party portal. And I'm always like, well, actually, this is like you're just booking direct. So you can do that with your Bilt. So please stop saying that to everybody.
They say that, except lots of people do book through third. But this is the biggest concern I have with this. And then I'll hop off the soapbox. Because while I've been booking virtually every airline ticket on Bilt this year, plenty of people who like book through Amex Travel and book through Chase. And I've done both of those things. I've a long time ago booked tickets through like the Expedias and the Booking.coms of the world, which I would highly recommend nobody ever do unless it's the only way you can ticket something. But I mean, in the last 24 months, I have booked tickets on both Amex and Chase. They make it much more difficult than Bilt does. And for the tens of dollars in sponsorship that you pay me, which is not true. I've never been paid anything by Bilt to shill in this banner. I mean, like there's just, it's just easy. Now, I can't book a multi-stop ticket with Bilt. Like there's certain ticket types I can't book yet based on the way that you guys sell your itinerary. So if I want to book a round trip on United, but I want to go Dulles to LAX and then Las Vegas to Dulles, I'd have to book those as 2 one-ways. I can't book them as a multi-stop trip, which I can do on the United website. But most everything else I can. And I would just argue, to your point, like with my United tickets, I book on Bilt and I can change them on the United website. I can change them on the Bilt website too. But it's virtually seamless, and I'm earning extra miles. So I would just encourage anybody that's thinking about their Amex travel bonuses or booking through Chase Travel to take a look at Bilt, because I think it's a really straightforward, easy way to book an airline ticket. And I would just say, sorry, Mr. Kerr, but please don't redeem your Bilt points for 1.25 cents against airfare. If you're going to do that, I'll buy them from you and use them for something else.
I mean, in some cases, the 1.25 cents is worth more than whatever the loyalty program is, so it can make sense.
I hear you. I would just argue that a little bit more work, I think you can do better.
I don't know, man. It's really expensive, so I would also encourage you not to do that for the sake of the economics of my program, but plenty of people do, and if that's the value that they're getting out of the program, then we're happy to let you do that.
Like I said, I know it's expensive for you, but I want people to get the best value. All right, well, we got to land the plane there. We both have millions of things to do on the business side of things. Any travel for you? Oh, wait, no, you're leaving on the cruise.
Yes. By the time you are listening to this, hopefully, if everything goes according to plan, I will be floating out on Mickey's big ship, enjoying some much-needed disconnected time off for the holidays. So I hope that everything goes according to plan. Let's no more surprises. Let's just say that.
Yeah. All right. Well, I hope you enjoy a great Thanksgiving with Mickey out there on the water. I'll be celebrating with the family here at home, and shockingly leaving for Vegas shortly after Thanksgiving is over to crank up for the next round of events. Something new for a change, Mr. Kerr. Looking forward to finishing out the rest of the year with you. We've got some end of the year travel recaps and what we think 2026 is going to look like to cover. We're really interested to see where you think you're going to be on loyalty for 2026, but got to save that for another week. Until we upload again, we've got miles to go.
Red velvet flavored bar, which I was not expecting. Oh, that's great. I can't even see anything.